YouTube, what's going on, y'all? Okay, now this isn't a lifting video. Today was supposed to be a beautiful leg day, supposed to be a beautiful hard leg day, right? And I was getting ready for the gym. I ate my breakfast. I packed my bag and everything. I had my clothes on, and I was like, I'm gonna not go to the gym today. I'm not gonna do legs today because here's the reason. Okay, I have a valid reason for this. Okay, the reason for me not going to the gym today was because I had work, and it was the same work on Monday that absolutely destroyed my legs. This is the same exact kind of work. I wasn't working a forklift today, so I wasn't like relaxing. I wasn't just standing on a forklift the whole day. I was actually doing a lot of lifting today. So my legs were going to be as sore as they were on Monday and the subsequent days after that. And today, funny enough, I actually felt almost good today, but my right glute still very sore. Just my right one was still very sore. And my quads were also very sore as well. I was like, this sounds crazy. My calves were a little sore as well today. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take a rest day, man. Which it wasn't really a rest day. It wasn't really a rest day because I went to work and I still destroyed my legs. They're still gone today, and they will probably be gone tomorrow and Saturday. But Sunday, I think the recovery is gonna be a little bit better. I think I'll be able to hit legs on Sunday for my lower day. But yeah, man. So basically, what I'm getting at is you got to pick your rest days. You got to be honest with yourself and where your recovery is at, because recovery is a huge part of the gym, and being able to recover from the workouts that you were doing and the strain you're putting on your body is what's going to help you grow, basically, So, yes, today I technically didn't take a rest day, but like, even if I wasn't, well, that's not true. I mean, I might have gone and done legs today if I wasn't going to work today. Maybe I would have done legs. I don't know. It's hard to say because I did have to go into work today, so I couldn't tell you. But based on the fact that I was going to work, I definitely didn't want to do legs because I didn't want to hit my legs in the gym and then be like, all right, cool, now I'm gonna go work and destroy them even further, because that's not recovery right there. That's actually making it worse. That's taking the muscle that I already broke down from working out, despite the soreness, and then just destroyed them further, which is not, especially for 8 hours. I was doing it for about 7.5 hours. So, I mean, it wouldn't have been good for recovery, but you got to choose your rest days good, sometimes, right, in a program, and this shouldn't happen, right? If the program is built correctly, you shouldn't have a day where you're like, damn, dude, I'm just too sore from the last time that I hit back. If the program is built correctly, you should have ample rest time between your workouts, and your workouts shouldn't leave you absolutely destroyed until your next day, unless you're like in a cut or something like that, in a heavy cut for like a bodybuilding competition. Because if that's the case, then the recovery is going to be a little bit tougher, because you're not going to have the same amount of calories that you were working with, depending on where you're at in your cut. I feel like you can easily push yourself a little bit too hard on those workouts and not give yourself enough time to recover. Legs is a big one for me. Recovery is an issue in different areas for different people. Legs is a big one for me. So, and usually a big one for a lot of people. They go into the gym, especially if they haven't been in the gym for a minute, and they hit the exercise really hard. They're going to be sore for like 3 days. If they don't pace themselves right, and they just go as hard as they can. Even today, obviously, I work out my legs and things like that, but still, they got destroyed. Even though I work out my legs, because I did an excessive amount of work on Monday, and I did an excessive amount of work today, and I don't have the muscular endurance that I needed to recover from that quickly, or not have it impose such a ill-willed destruction of my legs, So, muscular endurance plays a big factor into that, but my legs aren't what they used to be, especially not right now after having the hamstring injury. I'm getting back into it, and it's getting better, but you got to be careful with when you take your rest days, because if you're still sore, right? Going back to this program thing, in a correct program, this shouldn't happen. But let's say there was an outside factor, like you did yard work and that like destroyed your like back or something, right? You were doing a lot of shoveling and it destroyed your back. and your shoulders, and you go in for your back day and you're like, damn, man, I am still sore from shoveling. A rest day is not a bad thing to do. You know, actually, one thing you could do, you could take a rest day, right? That's actually a beneficial thing you could do. Another thing you can do is just get some blood into the muscles. I believe, you know, and this isn't me quoting a study or anything like that. This is off the dome piece. This is what I do. This is what I do for myself, you know. You can go and you can do super light weights and not, you know, go to failure or go super heavy or things like that. Just something to get the blood flowing into the muscle because nutrients is, you know, carried by the blood. So the more blood you have flowing to it, the, you know, better it might heal and it might recover. I don't know though. That's just something that, you know, I think is beneficial. For my legs, let's, you know, I didn't want to do cardio on Tuesday after Monday. I didn't want to do cardio because, like, dude, my legs are just dead, dude. I just don't even want to walk right now. And I was like, no, if I get walking, you know, I'm not going to do it super hard. I'm not going to put it on an incline. I'm not going to go super fast. I'm going to go slow, and I'm going to just let, you know, let the blood go into the legs, because other than that, outside of the gym session, I was pretty static on Tuesday. So I wasn't doing a whole lot of moving and I wasn't getting a whole lot of steps. So, you know, hitting cardio is actually a better idea for me, I think. So, you know, yeah, sometimes, you know, there are outside factors in a program that aren't part of the programming, and it's not a programming issue. It's just outside factors of life that creates you to be sore. And you just got to be honest with yourself. And if you have a coach, be honest with your coach. Be like, hey, I'm still super sore. You know, can we switch this up? Can I do this today, or can I take the rest day today? Whatever it is, you know, I've got like clients that you know, depending on their schedule, you know, it's not even like a soreness thing, but depending on their schedule, you know, I have them doing a certain program, but if they need me to move the rest day, I can move the rest day around and then switch some things around to where, you know, they're not too close together. You know, for example, they have a push pull legs, push pull legs, rest, push pull legs, rest, you know. So one thing that, or I won't base it off of their any of their programs, you know, or like what I do. I'll use myself as an example because I can. I have a push pull legs, rest, upper lower, rest, right? So that's a 7-day schedule right there. So push pull legs, rest, upper day, lower day, rest. Okay. If I'm not careful, if I take one of those rest days and let's say that Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is my push pull legs, and then Saturday and Sunday is my upper and then lower, right? So if I take the rest day from Friday and I move it to Thursday and I push the Thursday legs to Friday, I will then have legs on Friday, upper on Saturday, and then legs again on Sunday, which is not quite enough time to recover for me personally, depending on how you work out the legs. If you split it up and you do quads on one of those days and then like hamstrings and glutes on the other day, then you can get away with it. You know, you can actually do that. That's actually a fine thing to do because you're not, you know, depending on what patterns you're doing during the workouts, if you're just targeting those specific muscles during those workouts, then, you know, you won't be affecting the muscles that you already worked from the leg day previous. You know, let's say you did quads on Friday, and then, you know, you had your upper day, and then your lower day on Sunday. It would have to be hamstrings and glutes. So if you did, you know, mainly like if you did hack squats and leg extensions, calf raises, and like adductors or something like that on the Friday, and then on the Sunday you did, you know, hamstring curls, RDLs, calf raises again, and then abduction, you know, abductors. You could also do that, and that would actually be a perfectly fine movement. And then you throw in a couple movements on each of those days that are, you know, maybe things that you need to work on specifically, and you know, you could be set up pretty good, and you wouldn't have to worry about being those 2 days being close together. But you just have to be careful about, you know, that's actually changing the program, you know, because like you can just hit legs, you can hit hamstring, glutes, and quads on one leg day, and then hamstring, glutes, and quads again on the next leg day if you had the 2 days in between those, you know. But if you switch around the rest days, then you kind of got to switch around the program, and that's what I do with myself personally. So other than that, yeah, this is longer than I thought it was going to be, but I just apparently love to freaking talk, dude. Shout out the horse pounding my girlfriend, maybe. Look at that. Beautiful. Anyways, yeah, man, I guess I'm off the scene, man. I guess I'm done rambling. Yeah. Too long didn't read. Just be careful with your rest days. Choose them wisely. Make sure you're not overworking yourself, and make sure you're getting proper recovery. So I appreciate y'all for watching. Hope to see y'all next time.